Vishal Batra, ETimes welcomes you. How are you, sir?
Thank you so much, Vicky, for inviting over. I'm doing very well, and I hope you're doing well during these tough times.
Well, we are pulling on, surviving. Today, Shershaah ending all over. How does it feel, sir? It's based on your brother, late Captain Vikram Batra. I want you today to talk about him. It's a big honor talking to you about this personality. Please tell us, how did it all start? When did you first come to know that a film on him was being planned?
So, thank you for that question, Vicky. So, let me tell you, Dad already had two dreams. One was to write a book on Vikram, and second was that we wanted to make a biopic on him. And this dream started long time back in 2014 and 15, in fact, to be honest with you. The first dream of writing a book, which is typically a tribute from a father to son, that got fulfilled in 2017-18 when Dad wrote a book on him titled Paramveer Vikram. And it was unveiled by then the wife of the former chief of Indian Army, General Johar. Right, so that first dream, got fulfilled in 2017-18. But since I told you that we had two dreams, and second dream, of course, having a biopic on him was, of course, it came in 2014. But I would like to thank Shabbir bhai, first of all, Shabbir Boxwalla from Kash Entertainment, because he was the first man who approached us in 2015-16. So it's a long story that the dream typically started in 2016, and that was the time when first time, of course, we got in touch with Sidharth Malhotra. And from there on, of course, when we narrated the whole of the story, because we were a part of the storyteller, complete storytelling, sharing all his childhood, his school life, his college life, his army life, life being a twin brother to him. We are identical twins, and I'm younger to him just by 14 minutes. So I think sharing a whole lot of story with Shabbir bhai, with the script writer who got into the place, whose name is Sandeep Shrivastava, and of course then meeting Sidharth, first time along with my father in 2016, and to be precise, it was 24th of December 2016 when I met Sidharth for the first time, right? And of course, thereon, we started it on, and finally, I think 4.5, 5 years down the line, this dream is coming true. So I think I'm very, very excited looking at the trending, what I saw today, because I believe that, we never had Vikram physically with us, but he was always, I think, one inspiration to the youth and to a lot of Indians, in fact, around. And I think the Dharma and along with Kash Entertainment, they've done a brilliant job, and I'm hoping that this movie is going to be a big blockbuster, and we wanted something like this to get Vikram back on the screen. So very, very happy to look at the initial first teaser, and we're waiting for the trailer, which likely gets released on 26th of July.
When Shabbir came to you first,
yeah,
were you curious to know who is going to play my brother?
So let me tell you, at that point of time, of course, we didn't decide on. But yes, of course, we had a choice of people, I'll be very honest with you. And of course, Sidharth was first choice because his face resembles a lot to the Vikram. And we also wanted, why Sidharth also we wanted was that we wanted somebody to be as young as Vikram was. Because when Vikram went, he was just 24. So it could not have been done by a very, very senior guy. And when, of course, and thanks to Shabbir bhai, because he was the first person to get in touch with Sidharth. And when Shabbir bhai made me and Dad meet Sidharth in Mumbai, I think the moment we met him he's very, very humble. I think, and during the course of the discussion we had with him, we got to know that he's a great actor, right? We got to know him very well. And from there on, we decided that he was the best choice we could have picked up. And we were very, very excited because looking at his personality, the way he had shaped up in his own career, I think a very, very down-to-earth personality. And we could see those, side faces, side cuts, time glimpse, and also a lot of humility in him, what typically a Vikram was. So we definitely found it, I think he would be the best choice, best fit. And whatever I've seen, the first cut of the movie, he's done a brilliant, brilliant job. And I'm sure, he's going to rock, when the movie is finally out.
So you have seen the rough cut?
I have seen the rough cut. Yeah, I've seen the cut without the visual graphics, of course. I have already seen that.
Okay. Did you ask for any changes?
Not really. See, there's only a bit of a cinematic liberty, but end of the day, I'll say, 90% of the movies on the facts, right? Because of course, they do take those cinematic liberties, which are very, very minor. But I didn't recommend any changes as such per se.
Tell me, Vishal, where exactly were you when the heartbreaking news of your brother came to you?
So I was doing, so I'll tell you, we both wanted to join forces. Let me tell you that first, in fact,
Oh,
right?
that's interesting.
Right. And I'm also thrice not recommended by the Survey Selection Board. And I always end up saying that the army never wanted a second Batra. One was enough for the enemy, right? So that's the motto that I've lived on. And I ended up doing my masters, and then I got into my first job, and I was working in Delhi with Tata Finance Limited. And I think it was very, very unfortunate day because just 2 days back we had seen Vikram's interview when he was interviewed then by a very leading journalist, Barkha Dutt, right? And of course, his very famous interview in that tent, where he said "Ye dil mange more," and we never thought that he's not going to come back. And I was in my office. It was 8th of July because we lost him on 7th of July, but the news reached us on 8th of July. And it was 8th of July, 99, afternoon around 3:30 p.m. And unfortunately, I picked up that call when it came. And to be honest, I don't know till date who was the person who broke that news to me. And he just simply asked me, "Hey, Vishal, can we speak to Vishal Batra?" And I said, "Yes, this is Vishal here." And he said, "There's a bad news for you." And the moment he said bad news, I could guess it because my whole of the staff of Tata Finance, all my colleagues and friends in the office, we all were glued to the TV all the time because we knew it was a full-fledged war. And then I said, "What happened to him?" उसने हिंदी में बोला मुझे कि विशाल उसको गोली लग गई है. And my immediate reply was that he's not a guy who just go with one injury. And I said, "How is he?" And then he said, "Vishal is no more, and your parents are in a critical condition. You need to reach back to Palampur immediately." Right? And he just hung the phone. But at that point of time, also, I was somehow believing that I think it could be a wrong news because Vikram had written me some of the letters, and in one of the letters, I think he was also very confident that he'll come back because he mentioned one particular line that you would have seen my interview in the media and a lot of magazines during my first success, which was 0.5140. And we lost him in the second mission, which was 0.4875, which is now also called as the Batra Atom. And he mentioned that please keep a copy of all those, cuttings, recordings, because I would like to see when I'm back. And I ended up calling one of the major general sirs in the army headquarters just to check that whether the news is true or the news is wrong. And finally, when the Major General broke the news to me, Vishal, we are sorry to share with you, but we lost the young officer. And it was a very, very heartbreaking.
So, can you share with us, sir, about your brother, Captain Vikram Batra? A few things that we don't know about. Like, what did he like the most in life?
So, let me share with you. Vikram was a very loving and a very jovial guy. And, he always had a principle of life that live life king size. Trust me. And right from his early childhood, he was a go-getter, right? We both represented our schools, in All India Nationals in table tennis, in judo, in karate. Vikram was also a national youth parliament. He was a complete, guy who would sweep out all the trophies in the school, right? He was a great table tennis champion. He was a district number 1 when we used to play for district Kaarra. I think another thing, which you're asking me that what he used to like the most, let me tell you, he was very fond of good perfumes. He was very fond of good watches. He was very fond of having a car. During those days, it used to be Honda City. And, because that, of course, 1998, 99, whenever you used to look at a Honda City, you used to say, "Oh, what a lovely car." That used to be one of the best sedans. And he always wanted to possess one, right? He was very fond of traveling, very fond of traveling. He was a friend's of friend. He would die for anyone. Dying for the country is something what it is beyond our imagination also, right? But he was a friend's friend. Yaron ka yaar jisko bolte hain, wo bilkul yaron ka yaar tha wo, right? And he used to gel up very well. He was very gregarious, very emotional guy. And I think used to love wearing nice outfits. I think you would have all the जिसको बोलते हैं ना वो पूरे शौक थे जो आज के typical youth में आप देखते हो. I'm talking way back 22 years, right? And let me share one episode with you. You would love that. So what happened? When we were from a normal middle class family because my father was a principal, my mom was a teacher, and we never had those luxuries of too much of a money. And if you remember this, the company Woodland, and Palampur is a very small town. So when the Woodland showroom got opened in Palampur, and generally हम दोनों identical twins, and we were identical twins, and Vikram was elder to me just by 14 minutes. So whatever we used to shop around, we used to shop it together, right? So if you're getting one shirt, So we'll get 2 shirts of the same color, same size, because we were so identical. But of course, when we started going, so we thought, why buying the same color? Let's buy different colors so that we can exchange it and use it. So when this Woodland company came, and Vikram said, Dad, Woodland ka company, I want to go and buy this shoe. And of course, we went to buy the shoe in the shop. And I think at that time, if I remember it vividly, it used to cost some 3,500. And my dad was looking at our faces that now if I buy 2 pair of shoe, it was going to cost 7,000. And 7,000 during those times, because we were 4 siblings and Dad didn't have that kind of money, right? And Dad looks at it, hey, those shoes ka pair, 7,000. Are you guys crazy? And I was little one who used to say, okay, chal, theek hai na, we'll buy 1 pair. And Dad looks at Vikram, Dad looks at me, and Vikram says, no, boss, I want to buy it. And Dad looks at me. So I told him, no, Dad, no worries for this. You buy this month, you buy it for him. Next month, you buy it for me. Right? So this is a very, very close. I think, and I still remember the expression on his face. Right? This is one. Second thing, I can share about him is that there's a very famous movie called Prahar.
Yeah.
Which
Nana
typically
Patekar.
was made on, yes, Nana Patekar and Madhuri Dixit made on a commando's life. And since unfortunately when I couldn't make, and Vikram was doing his commandos, and when Vikram came back from his commandos, I think that was my last meeting with him. And it was 9th of March 99. When I picked him up from Hazrat Nizamuddin railway station in New Delhi. And he was coming back after his commandos from the commando school, Belgaum. And when I took him to the place where I was staying in my, accommodation, which was the paying guest accommodation, and Vikram, took off his shirt, and I could see the bruises all over his body. And when I looked at him, of course, I had tears in my eyes. I said, "Tu kya kar kar aaya ye?" So I said, and my first, question to him at that point of time was, "Is Prahar movie exactly what a commando course is?" And he told me, "Vishal," I'm sorry, he used to call me Kush, a nickname so love and Kush. He said, "Kush, commando is 10 times tougher than what is shown in the movie." That was my last interaction meeting with him. I never met him after that. So I said, "How did you cope it?" He said, "Nothing. They take a man out of you and they make a man to you." Right? And I still remember his words, and that was my last meeting. So he was a complete go-getter. Another thing which I can share that, when you go and Vikram was great in all sports but for swimming. And the day he cleared his Indian Military Academy and he was ranked very high in the merit when All India merit list came, he knew that swimming was his weak point. But fundamentally what he did was, he joined a swimming club for 2.5-3 months so that he could learn swimming before he reaches the academy. So that was the kind of the passion he had for forces. But I think he leaped, way ahead than what we could have ever thought of.
Was he fond of movies?
He was very, very fond. We both were very fond of movies. And let me share with you, good question. I think, we were studying in DAV College in Chandigarh in Sector 10. Because Palampur was a small town. We didn't have a cinema hall there. Right? So when we, came to the hostel during our first year of graduation in 92, 93. So, believe you me, first day, first release, raat ka 9 se 12 baje ka show. We used to sneak out of the hostel, jump the college gate, go and watch movie. Was very, very fond of movies. Very, very. His favorite movie I can recollect was, one was Jo Jeeta Wahi Sikandar in Hindi, and English, his favorite movie was Top Gun.
Well, tell us something more about him. Something that you remember. कभी ऐसा हुआ कि 2 भाई लोग आपस में छोटी सी बात पे लड़ पड़े, मुझे ये चाहिए.
Yes, there used to be a lot of such incidences. While I would not be able to recall any specific incident, but ये होता था कि हम दोनों लड़ते थे. कुछ छोटी चीज अगर एक उसको मिल गई, दूसरे को कम मिली, so we used to fight. Here इसको क्यों मिला, मुझे मिला, and we used to start hitting each other. And sometimes what happens, people used to take liberty out of it. ये दोनों आपस में लड़ते हैं, so they can take the liberty out of that. So one day our sisters, we were 4 siblings, right? So my elder sister, she added, "Yaar, कि तुम दोनों लड़ते, तुम आपस में क्यों लड़ते हो? When somebody teases you, you should beat the other person." So I don't know which 7th class, I think 7th or 8th, I don't know what happened to both of us. ऐसा होता है, you immediately mature. You see that wisdom has come to you. So beyond that, what happened कि किसी के साथ लड़ाई होती थी, अगर एक को पिट रहा तो हम दोनों मिलकर पीटते थे. नहीं तो पहले ऐसा होता था कि अगर एक पिट रहा दूसरा देख के खुश हो रहा था, बेटा तेरी पिटाई हुई है. Right? So that was a transformation. But to be honest, calling a specific movement where we would have fought, I don't remember such, but there used to be very small piddly reasons. One incident I can recollect is that what had happened that we both were into the martial arts, right? So I was a brown belt, second dan, and Vikram was a green belt second dan, and that was the only place where I was slightly better than Vikram, right? In terms of sports, at least. And what happened? We were doing it was a class 10th or 11th, and our guru, which is called as a senpai in the Japanese language, wanted to do a demonstration in the school. And when the entire contingent reached the school, so of course, वो karate में होता है, you break the bricks. So हमारे senpai ने बोला कि Vishal, can you go and get 2 bricks? And since I was brown too, Vikram was green too, I was senior in the academy to him. So I told Vikram, go and get 2 bricks. That's what senpai is asking for. He said, "Arey, tu jaake lekar aana yaar. Why are you asking me?" I said, "Go and get it now." So he doesn't go. I go, and I break the fence of the school. I take out 2 bricks, and I start walking with the bricks in my hand. And the senpai sees it from a distance, and he gets very furious. He said, "Buggers, I have come down with my contingent for a demonstration in a school, and you're breaking the discipline, you're breaking the fence." And Vikram was standing there, and he slaps Vikram. Said, and Vikram is taken aback. "Senpai, why are you hitting me? You don't have the basic discipline. You're breaking the school fence." He said, "I didn't do it. Vishal did it." And Senpai looks at me, starts laughing. The moment Senpai goes and hits me hard, "Bhagat, just because of you, I got he starts fighting with me that he gets a spank from our guru, which ideally I should have got." So that's one memory I have from my school days.
Salute to him for
Thank you so
all that
much.
he did in the 99 Kargil War. And salute to you too. So thank you so much, Vishal. Thank you.
No, I think I just thank you so much for inviting me over, Vicky bhai. I only say one thing, that I think I'm fortunate to be blessed with a twin like you. I think for me, the sacrifice of every soldier is the same, but I think I was just blessed that I would have a twin like him. So thank you so much for having me over. Thank you so much.